Hi, good morning, everyone. My name's Rasa, and thank you for joining me here at Legacy Faith Media. Today, I just wanted to talk to you before all my kiddos wake up. My husband just left for work. I wanted to talk to all of you parents who have kids in the public school system and are thinking about pulling them to homeschool, but you just haven't gotten up the nerve to do it yet. I know that it is so hard to make that leap, especially if you feel like you have no other options. Maybe you never thought that you'd have to pull your kid from a public school before. I chose to homeschool my children when I was 16 years old. You can watch a separate video on that. As I've homeschooled throughout the years, though, my list of reasons why to continue doing it just keeps getting longer and longer. The situation that you're facing right now is way different than the situation where I chose to homeschool over 10 years ago. And so there wasn't this hostility towards parents and not allowing parents to have a say in what their kids are learning and being taught in the school system, and just the indoctrination, the political indoctrination of kids within school. And so, here you are facing all these different pressures, but you've never, even in your wildest dreams, probably thought, I need to homeschool my kid, or that's something I should do. And so that would be terrifying to me if I felt like all of a sudden, just like that, I had to make this huge life-changing, life-altering decision. It's always been your primary responsibility to make sure that they're getting the education they need, that they have the character that they're supposed to have when they're older, and that they're prepared for the real world. Those were never responsibilities of the public education system in the first place. Yes, they're there to assist you in that and help instruct your kid. They should have always been accountable to you as a parent anyway. But since they're not, you might need to take the reins in your own two hands. So I just wanted to encourage you, though, if this is something you've never thought of in your wildest dreams of homeschooling, I wanted to let you know that you do have options even within the homeschooling arena. I'm going to give you just a few examples of things that I've heard of around the country, in different places that I've lived, so that you know that you don't have to be the primary teacher in order to have a different option of schooling for your child that is affordable. I have a friend in Washington State who volunteered her time and started a Christian school at her church. They bought a curriculum, and it was two ladies who taught whatever age groups were signed up with their school. So they had maybe like a class of 10, but they volunteered their time to teach the students. These kids were getting a high class education, graduating with really high grades. So these students didn't have to pay a tuition fee. They only had to pay for their books. And it was a great affordable way for children to be able to get a high quality education if their parents, had to go to work or didn't feel qualified to teach them. That was an option for them. There's also a friend of mine out here in Kentucky whose children are in a hybrid homeschooling program. And I've heard of these hybrids before, where you can send your child to a school 2 or 3 days a week, and they receive their instruction from their teachers during that time, and then they get sent home with homework to work on and complete with their parents on the other days of the week. So the parent in that situation is more like a tutor on those days, just helping make sure that the children get their homework done, that they have their questions answered, but they don't have all the pressures of having to teach the subjects that maybe they don't feel qualified to teach. Now, in some cases, like I have, my cousin uses a hybrid homeschool option that she absolutely loves, but she did say that it is pretty expensive, compared to, if you're sending your kid to a public school and it's free. It might seem really expensive. But just want to challenge you in this, is that nothing is free. I'm not talking about how people are paying taxes for it. there is a cost to sending your child to a public school system right now. And so you need to decide whether you want to pay that price or not. So that's just something to think about. But she said it's kind of expensive, but she loves it. And her kids go to school, I think I can't remember, 2 or 3 times a week. And they're learning like all sorts of stuff. She said they're learning Latin, and she said that her kids love it. They came out of a public school system and just started this year, and they're just loving this new school environment and have adjusted to it really well and are making good friends. And the class sizes are like 10 people or less. Like they're very small class sizes. So I have another friend whose kids are doing the hybrid homeschool option, and she's only paying like $50 per student because all the teachers volunteer with that. And so everywhere you go in the country, little hybrid homeschool options like this, they're like half private school, half homeschool kind of schools. They're popping up all over the place. This is something that people are seeing a need for because parents aren't feeling confident enough to teach their own kids at home, but they want that they want their kids to experience that. So anyway, with that being said, I know I'm like, my words are kind of choppy today because I just woke up. I'm like, I didn't even take a sip of this coffee yet as I've been talking to you, but I really need to. So I just wanted to like share with you that if you wanted to homeschool your kids, but you don't feel fully qualified, there are options out there for you, like these hybrid homeschool options or these private schools where people are volunteering their time. Sometimes it just takes a little bit of digging. You can go online and look up like hybrid homeschool options, private school options in your area, and see what comes up. And then also ask around within homeschooling communities. A really easy way to get connected with the homeschooling community is to just go on Facebook, which I don't have anymore, but that's a different story. But you can go on Facebook and you can type in and search for groups that are like homeschool groups in your area. And then once you get on that page, ask around and find out if there's some sort of hybrid option like that where you live. And if there's not, start one. Anyway, I hope you found this helpful. Just having this talk about, how there are options, that you don't need to be the primary teacher. But I know that it is terrifying. I remember just being like so scared when I was starting to teach my oldest, when she was like 3 years old, and I was like so scared to teach her because I was like, I'm gonna ruin her. I don't know what I'm doing. And I assure you, she is like a very intelligent, amazing student. Right now she's doing a hybrid type thing on the computer, and she's doing great. So I just have to say this, is that kids are hardwired to learn. So if you're sitting with them and you're being consistent and you're teaching them, they will pick up on the things that you're teaching them over time, as long as you're, continuing to be consistent and encouraging them. So anyway, I could keep doing this. I'm gonna go and finish my cup of coffee. You have a lovely day. And remember, if you have any questions for me at all, please leave it in the comments below. I would love to answer whatever question you have about homeschooling, or about parenting or whatever. I love you, and I'm here for you. Okay? So anyway, have a good day. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.